Mimetic evolution is a vast process of ideas and stories and legends and things competing to get into our brains. It covers all of science is memes, all of religions is memes, everything around us, well, not everything, all the things that we've copied from person to person are memes. I mean, take an example like the song Ring a Ring of Roses. This has an evolutionary history. What must have happened is that some song, we don't know, it's lost in the past of history, was sung by somebody who liked it and copied it. The words probably got changed a bit. People aren't perfect copiers, so they make mistakes. They change the words a little bit. And gradually, one version wins out over another. Now, because America and England are separated, in fact, what's happened is one version has won out on one side of the Atlantic and another on another, just as you get in the Galapagos Islands, one sort of finch on this island and one on another. So mimetic evolution is this process of the competition between memes to get copied and to stay in our culture and in our minds. I like to look at culture as a mass of memes. Our culture is all the things that we have copied. So you look at our physical culture, the buildings around us, the artifacts, the television sets, the chairs we sit on, all of these things are designs that have been copied from person to person. They form the physical culture. Our mental culture, our languages, all the words in our language have competed to stay in there. Words that aren't used drop out, everybody forgets them. Words that are really useful stay in there. Our belief systems, our political systems, these are all competing too. If you think of the competition between communism and capitalism, these are great, huge mimetic structures, memeplexes I would call them, complexes of memes that go around together, that have competed in the world for space in human brains and cultures. So our cultures are this massive, moving, ever-changing, evolving process. Once you start thinking about memes, the obvious question is, when did the first meme appear? When did this start in human evolution? I think the evidence suggests that something like 2.5 million years ago, the early humans, our ancestors, started to copy each other. They couldn't do it very well. They didn't have very big brains, but they began. That set off mimetic evolution, mimetic competition. That is the competition between memes. So let's suppose that somebody's discovered a new way of carrying fruit back, making a basket, say. Now, that's a meme. That is competing to be copied. It's trying, if I might use that expression, to get copied by lots of people. Now, what happens? Anyone who's good at copying that meme and any other memes around will have a survival advantage and pass on the genes that made them good at that. Now, what I'm saying is this. Imitation is difficult. It requires a bit bigger brain. Once there are memes around, new ways of doing things, then if you've got a slightly bigger brain and you're slightly better at imitating those memes, you will survive better, you'll have more children, you'll attract a better mate, and you'll pass on whatever it takes to be good at imitation. That's a bit bigger brain. So that's why I say we have big brains. The memes, once they appeared, changed everything. They drove the genes to produce bigger brains and bigger brains and bigger brains to spread more memes. One of the things I think we've overlooked in understanding humans is that we alone on this planet are really good at imitation. Imitation is central to understanding memes because that's how they get passed on. And I mean imitation in rather a broad sense, including language, passing on stories, and so on. Now, many people think that all animals can imitate, but it's not true. Cats and dogs and rats and things like this, they're very good at learning for themselves. They can learn how to get something, where food is, all sorts of complicated things, but they don't copy each other's behavior. Chimps can probably imitate a little bit, but not very well, even though they're extremely intelligent. Birds can imitate songs, and whales and dolphins can imitate sounds too, but only humans are capable of really widespread imitation of all sorts of things, and that's why I think it's only in humans that the memes have taken off and started a whole new kind of evolution. I got into memes, it was quite a surprise to me, really. I got very ill and I was lying in bed for about 6 months. I couldn't get up at all. I couldn't work, I couldn't talk to people, I couldn't do anything except read a little bit and think a lot. And I reread Dawkins' The Selfish Gene and came across the meme idea again. And I was just lying there and I began thinking and I realized that no one had done very much with this idea, but here was dynamite. Here was the idea of a second replicator, as powerful as genes, but running in a completely different way, using our own brains. And I'd lay there in bed, and the memes, as it were, used my brain. in the most fertile way, and I just kept having ideas. It was quite exciting and extraordinary to me to lie there immobilized in bed and yet to be having all these ideas. And, well, months and months later, when I finally got better, I went out and talked to people. Is this rubbish, or is this worth having? And then I wrote the book, and now people are testing the ideas and will eventually find out whether it really is as wonderful an idea as I think it is. I get a lot of criticism. Some of it is from people who just don't get the idea. They don't see the power of memes as replicators. That kind of criticism, it's not important. The interesting criticism comes from people who do get the idea and they say, but it doesn't work this way. Oh, it can't explain the big brain for this reason. Oh, there's lots else going on. It's not important. And there, in the end, what matters is, can the theory of memes produce testable predictions, different predictions from other theories that can be shown to be right or wrong? I think it can. There are already people out there testing the big brain hypothesis, testing the theory of altruism that comes out of it, testing different aspects of meme theory. I think it's doing pretty well, but it's early days yet.